Namo Krishna
Radhaya
Prishtaya Bhutale
Radhaya
Devaki
Shrimate Bhakti
Vedanta
Vedanta
Swamini Namani
Swami
Namaste Saraswate
Saraswati
Devi
Devi
Gauravani
Gauravani
Pracharini
Pracharini
Nirvishesha
Nirvishesha
Shunyavari
Shanavadi Paschati Dishitarini
Shri
Jai
Krishna
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda Shri
Nityananda
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Sivasadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Yes, so anyone would like to share what we discussed in our last session? Yes.
verses
Prabhuji.
number verses number 17 and 18,
Mhm.
soul and super soul. The difference soul is and super soul difference is soul is knows his only individual body, but super soul knows all bodies, and whose intelligence, mind, and faith is to fix to Supreme Lord Krishna. That is the topmost knowledge, absolute knowledge. And super soul is not goodness, person, or ignorance. He is Satchit and Ananda. But material body is goodness, person, and ignorance.
Yes, anyone else?
We learned that due to our illusions and bewilderment, and if
Mhm.
you're not in Krishna conscious, there will be spikes in our life like a sine wave of sukh and dukh.
Mhm.
And we will be not happy in the true sense. But if we take the help of the bona fide spiritual master and fix our mind, body, intelligence, and complete faith and surrender to Krishna,
Mhm.
then we get the key to the liberation. We learn because of that, like the sun rays remove all the darkness. Same way, the knowledge about Krishna through our spiritual bona fide master removes all darkness of our minds. And we also learn that the person who's in Krishna consciousness does not distinguish between people in different modes of prakriti. The person starts feeling that Krishna is everywhere in all soul, and hence treats them in a same manner. Uh, I think there's a difference also there, but I think what it generally means is that we do not judge people for where they are in the prakriti, but we try to learn from everywhere in every way and be submitted to our super soul, which is Krishna.
Basically, the thing was verse number 18. The idea was we see each and every living entity to be the part and parcel of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the way a person who is situated in a knowledge by the virtue of true knowledge sees with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So, with his knowledge, what is that knowledge? Knowledge is each and every living entity is part and parcel of that Supreme Lord, belongs to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. With that point of view, he is seeing each one as the same, equal vision. There, if you see, Prabhupada mentions that also in the purport, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats every living entity as a friend yet maintains himself as a Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entity. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcast and in the Brahmana, although the body of a Brahmana and that of an outcast are not the same. So bodily they are different, but on a spiritual level, if we see, they are all part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Paramatma Krishna as a Paramatma is present in all the living entities. This is what he sees. Okay, so we'll continue with the next verse number 19. All of you, please join in chanting the shloka. Ihevya terjita sargo
Terjita sargo
yesham samye sthitam manaha
Yesham Same Sthitam Manaha
nirdosham hi samam brahma
Nirdosham Hi Samam Brahma
tasmat brahmani te sthitha.
Tasmad Brahmani Tistita.
Yes, anyone would like to chant the shloka?
यहैव तर्कतः सर्गो जैसं सम्मे स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिता.
Yes, anyone else?
इहेवातैर्जितः सर्गो येषं सम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थितः.
Yes, anyone else? Anyone else would like to chant? Translation: those whose mind are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Brahman is basically transcendence. So here Krishna is going to mention the qualities of a person who is Sthita Prajna, just like in second chapter. Krishna mentions the qualities of Sthita Prajna. Arjuna inquired, Sthita Prajna ka bhasha. How does he speak? A person who is situated in transcendence, how does he speak? How does he walk? How does he see? The same way Krishna is going to mention the qualities of a person who is situated in transcendence. However, one is enlightened with knowledge, so that is what Krishna is going to speak of, the qualities of a person who is situated in that transcendental knowledge. So, we read the purport and understand more in detail. Equanimity of mind, as mentioned above, is the sign of self-realization. Those who have actually attained to such a stage should be considered to have conquered material conditions, specifically birth and death. As long as one identifies with this body, he is considered a conditioned soul. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity, to realization of self, he is liberated from conditioned life. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in the material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky after his death. The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter into spiritual sky. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below. So all those qualities will be described in the next verses. We will see what all qualities are there. So here, sameness or equanimity is mentioned, but sometimes it appears to be very contradictory. How? Sometimes we see that Krishna or Krishna's devotees, they are getting angry, and when one get angry out of hatredness, suppose you hate something, so what will happen? You will get angry. You hate certain situations, certain objects, certain thought, or certain people, will get angry, right? So same way we are seeing Just like Hanuman, he got angry, and even Lord Ram, while going to Lanka, he got angry. Lord Krishna, various pastimes, he was angry while killing demons also. So, how do we understand? They are getting angry, whereas here Krishna is mentioning those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. So, does that mean that Lord Krishna has not conquered the situation of birth and death, or Hanuman is still in the cycle of birth and death, or various such devotees? What do you say? Yes, anyone would like to share? Hmm.
I think whenever their lords got angry, that was because for establishment of dharma. They were
Mhm.
not happy that there is adharma happening, like Rama took Sita ji, and that's why, and he disrespected Ramji, that's why Hanumanji got angry, and then he burnt his tail. So in anger, he burned the whole Lanka. But I think it was towards the establishment of dharma, and
Mhm.
hence it was justified, I maybe.
So, once we will try to understand in principle, once during the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to spread the holy name, to go to door and ask everyone to chant the holy name of the Lord. That's how he started this movement as preaching movement. So one day, this Nityanand Prabhu, he thought, if we preach this message of holy name to the Jagai or Madai, who are the drunkards, womanizer, they are the most degraded people. Just like nowadays, suppose if we preach this message to PM Narendra Modi or such big personality, so everyone will accept this. Everyone will be, oh, they are chanting, let me also do something like that. So the same way Nityananda Prabhu thought, this Jagai and Madai, they are the so fallen. Let us give this message or this holy name to them. If they chant, all the people will also start chanting. So when Nityananda Prabhu he tried, asking this Jagai Madai to chant the holy name, and they were drunkard. They insulted Nityananda Prabhu. How? By hitting Nityananda Prabhu with a stone. By hitting Nityananda Prabhu with a stone. They hit Nityananda Prabhu with a stone on his forehead. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because seeing this, Haridas Thakur, he immediately learned and informed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as soon as he informed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared at that marketplace where he was hitted, and he immediately he took up a Sudarshan Chakra and he was about to kill this Jagai and Madai. But Nityananda Prabhu, he requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not to kill, because their purpose is to spread this holy name, to spread the love of Godhead, which is this Golekera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana. Their purpose is to spread this currency of love, which is Harinama Sankirtan. So he requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not to kill this Jagai and Madai, because Nityananda Prabhu, he was insulted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to kill this Jagai and Madai. So actually, Lord get angry when his devotees are in danger or are insulted or are at stake. Just like when Krishna he was killing Kalia, he was angry because he was unnecessarily creating disturbance in the Brajmandal. So Krishna he wanted to kill Kalia. So same way one should not tolerate insult against Dharma or against Krishna or his devotees, but for himself, one should tolerate all kinds of insult. One should not get agitated. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he says, Pranadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. A person can chant the holy name or can take interest in chanting the holy name only when he is humbler than the blade of a grass. Just like blade of a grass, if you see grass, if you stamp on or put a step on that grass leaf, as soon as you remove the grass, your foot, you will see again that grass, blade of grass will stand up. Or one should be tolerant as good as a tree. Amanina manadina. Then one should tolerate as a tree. Why a tree? If you throw a stone to a tree will give only fruits. Some storm is coming, tree will not. If sunlight is there, tree will give only shadow. Storm is there, tree will not get disturbed. So like that, one should be like a humbler than a blade of a grass, tolerant than a tree, and one should be ready to give all respects to other rather than accepting respect for him own self. One should not be eager to accept respect for one own self. Amanina manadena kirtanya sadari. One should be eager to give all respect to others. So when one is leading life in such a way, so one can be considered as a situated in sameness or equanimity. One should not tolerate such disrespect for others, whereas for oneself, one should tolerate everything. Just like in case of Hanuman, just because this Ravan he kidnapped Mother Sita, who actually belongs to Lord Ram, he got angry. He got angry. We'll read the next verse number 20th. Aprahashyate priyam prapya nodvichit prapya cha priyam stira buddhir asammudho brahma vidramani stitha. So here now Krishna is mentioning the quality of such a person. Person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is to be understood as already situated in transcendence. Just like in second chapter, the characteristics of a person who is situated in transcendence, Sthita Pragna, was discussed same way. Here is also discussed, or Krishna is mentioning the qualities. He is also mentioning the qualities. What are those qualities? Who neither rejoice or upon achieving something pleasant or laments upon something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, who knows the science of God, is to be understood, already situated in transcendence. We'll read the purport. We'll try to understand more in detail. The symptoms of a self-realized person are given herein. The first symptom is that he is not illusioned by false identification of body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything which is related to his body. This steadiness of mind is called sthira buddhi or self-intelligence. He is therefore never bewildered by mistaking the gross body for the soul, nor does he accept the body as permanent and disregard the existence of soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of knowing the complete science of the absolute truth, namely Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. He knows his constitutional position perfectly well without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization or self-realization. Such a steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So, a lot of beautiful points Prabhupada has mentioned here. One is, many times in our life, we get carried away by certain things which are pleasing to us or which are non-pleasing to us, which we don't like. Why it happens? Because this world is full of duality, good or bad. Something is good, something is bad. So like that, heat and cold, this world is full of duality. So we develop inclination towards certain things based on our comfort, based on what is pleasing to me and what is that I like. What is that I like? Based on that, we develop certain inclinations. Whereas Krishna is mentioning, he is equipoised. He is not rejoicing also, he is not lamenting also. So one can come out of this duality or illusion. Why illusion? Because this duality is acting upon us because of the illusion. Because we get illusion and we think we are this body, we come under the influence of this duality. We think we are this body because in reality we are not this body. Who we are the part and parcel of that Supreme Lord. We are His Amsha. We belong to Him. That is our real identity. We are a spirit soul. We are not this body. So under illusion, we get influenced by dualities of this material world. So how one can come out of this duality? That if we see at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is mentioning. What he is saying? Nashta moha smritir labdha tattva prasadam maya uchyate. I will just pull up that verse.
73.
You can also open up Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter 73rd verse. So here, so Arjuna is telling Nashta moha smritir labdha tattva prasadan maya uchyate stitosmi gata sneh deha karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna is saying, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is gone. How it has gone? by receiving this knowledge, by receiving this transcendental knowledge, by receiving instructions from you, by getting the message of Bhagavad Gita from you, my illusion has gone. I've regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and prepared to act according to your instructions. And I am prepared to act as per according to your instruction. So that is the result of getting this knowledge on how one can come out of duality. Because if under this duality we all are caught up with various things in our life, we are running after so much of, if we see so much of hustle is there in our life, for what? To satisfy the senses, to get what satisfies us. Day and night we are working, running here and there, just to get some kind of happiness, pleasure, live a lavish, luxury life, working hard. But if we see what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, the quota of happiness and distress is already fixed. Just like we are working hard. Suppose a person is working hard for an organization, is earning 10 lakh, 20 lakhs, like that he is earning. But a labor is also working hard. He is earning only 600 or 1000 rupees per day. He is also working hard. Both are working hard. But if we see the ratio of their this thing is different. Why? Because as per their karma, it is already fixed how much quota of happiness or distress I am going to get in this life. Mediums can be different, but that is fixed. So one enjoys or suffers for that. So unnecessarily what happens? We run after, waste our lot of time and energy running after so-called fickle happiness or distress of our life. Waste our valuable time after these things rather than serving Krishna or developing our relationship with Krishna. This happiness and distress cannot be changed. It cannot be changed because it is destined, it is fixed. So then what is the use of this human form of life if it cannot be changed? Yes, anyone? What is the use of this human form of life? We cannot change happiness or distress in our life.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, the difference is that we can at least utilize this as an opportunity for coming out of this birth and death cycle. I mean, at least, and if it is not possible, then at least by doing some bhakti, we will be making our next life better. So, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, people who start progressing on this bhakti path, so they will be born in either aristocrat family, or if somebody has progressed even further in bhakti, he will be born among devotees family. So like that. So
Correct. So this human form of life, we cannot change the happiness or distress that is destined to us. But this human form of life can be utilized for inquiring about our existence, make permanent solution by adapting this process of Krishna consciousness, by taking shelter of Krishna, by serving Him. Like Arjuna, he revived, he regained his memory. Nashta moha smritir labdha. Now I have regained my smriti, means who am I? He could understand. So he is ready to act as per Krishna's desire. So same way, when we inquire, we understand who we are and we are ready to act as per Krishna's instructions, as per Krishna's representative instructions, Acharya's instruction, then our life is sublime. Because our constitutional position is Jivera Sarupoe Era Krishna Das. That is our constitutional position, that we are servant of the Lord Krishna. Currently, if we see the principle of surrender also, Sharanagati, one of the principle is, first two principles are, anyone remember?
The cause of
Hare
action
Krishna.
is Krishna.
Yes. Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
So your question is asking two principles of Sharanagati.
There are 6 principles of surrender. What is the first one?
Accept the things which are favorable to Krishna, reject the things which are not favorable to Krishna, believe that you will always be protected by Lord,
Mhm.
and be
Yes.
dependent on His mercy.
Yes.
And always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Is it also?
Never forget Krishna. Yeah.
Faith that God will surely protect me.
No
Yes.
other interest, no other interest other than Krishna.
To
सब
maintain an
बोल दीजिए,
attitude.
कुछ तो तुक्का लग ही जाएगा.
I think first 4 I was confident that to have gone.
Yes.
Be
So
humble was the last one.
meek
Yes.
and humble.
Meek and humble, yes.
Maintain an
So
attitude of gratitude towards God.
the first one is accepting things which are favorable for our Krishna consciousness. That is the very first basic fundamental principle of surrender. So when we accept the things which are favorable for Krishna consciousness, it may be averse to our liking. We may not like it. Just like, by nature and large, I was very reserved person, not, not like to talk to people so much. But when I was interested with this service of preaching services, in the preaching services you have to talk to the people and all those things. So it may be averse to my nature, I may not like it doing it, but we have to do for the pleasure of Krishna. There may be inconvenience to our body, mind, but we should accept it because it is meant for the pleasure of Krishna. It is favorable for our Krishna consciousness. Currently our situation is, we do things which are favorable for our senses. Which are favorable for our senses, rather than doing things which are favorable for our bhakti. So these senses, if we see, senses belongs to Krishna. The principle, or if we see the definition of bhakti given by Rupa Goswami is Sarvopadir Vinirmuktam Tat Pravatanena Nirmalam. Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. When our senses are engaged in the service of that Rishikesha, who is the owner of all the senses, we can be free from all designations, and and our senses will get purified, our existence will get purified. Currently, our position is what? Is nobody wants to be servant. That's why we are here in this material world. Everyone wants to be the master. Nobody wants to be the servant. You see, any place, any living entity, for that matter, wants to be the master. Whether it may be dog or a lion, even we our own self, whether we are working for an organization, we want to be at one time, I want to be the CEO of this company, or I want to be the team leader of this particular team, or I want to be this, I want to be that. Everyone wants position of a master. Even for, if we see nowadays, so many relationships, they're falling apart. Why? Because everyone wants to be the master. No one wants to be the servant. Everyone wants what is there for me, what I am going to get, rather than there is no tendency of giving. Just like for an example, relationships, if we see why they are falling apart, because whether my senses are getting pleased or not. Nowadays, in US, this living culture is there, living relationship culture is there. Is coming to India also. The generation which is coming up, they are not interested to get married. They don't want to enter into a committed relationship. All these things. Why? Because the thing is, what is there for me? They don't think themselves. At least if we see at our own self, how I can satisfy that person, what I can do for that person, what is that I can give to that person. They don't think as a servant, but as a master. Always they think like that. That's why they think, oh no, this relationship will not work out. Better is to stay away from all those things. Rather than they taking a step ahead, how much effort, endeavor they are putting, they want what is I am getting. I am not getting anything. They will not see what effort I am putting, but what I am getting. I am not getting anything. It's better to give up. It's better to give up and leave this thing. That's why we see a lot of people suffering because of this. Once if we develop this attitude of gratitude or attitude of serving, we will see how this place can be very harmonious. And this is what is one of the principle of Rupa Goswami mentions also, Tadati Prati Granati. Means you give and you accept. Both things are there. You give also, you accept also. That is the principle of relationship. If we see in bhakti also, one cannot practice bhakti. There are two things are required to practice bhakti. Anyone? What are the two things which are required to practice bhakti?
Prabhuji, discipline and
Faith and
steadiness.
surrender. Sorry.
Yes. Yes, please.
Prabhuji, you go ahead.
No, what you mentioned, please.
I was saying faith and surrender. I think Prabhuji was also saying something. Other Prabhuji.
Yes. Any other? Hmm. Anyone else? So to practice
Uh,
bhakti, yeah, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So we should accept our subordinate position to Krishna, and we should try to give everything possible from our side, whether it is in terms of working through our external senses or internal senses for Krishna.
Okay. So in nutshell, if we see, to practice bhakti, cheshta means endeavor is required. If we don't put endeavor in serving Krishna, we cannot develop relationship with Krishna, or that flame of devotion will not take place in our heart. If we don't put endeavors. Second thing is mercy of Krishna. If mercy of Krishna is not there, we are putting endeavor. If his mercy is not there, we cannot even put endeavors. His mercy is there in the form of devotees. His mercy is there in the form of Bhagavad Gita. His mercy is there in the form of prasadam. His mercy is there in the form of arch, vigra. His mercy is there in the form of holy name. All these things are not there. Where we will put our endeavors? His reciprocations are not there in our life. Then where we will put our endeavors? We cannot put our endeavors. Or if his mercy is there, but we are not putting endeavor, then also we cannot progress in bhakti. Suppose Krishna's mercy is there, but we are not interested, then also we cannot progress in bhakti. If Krishna comes in front of us, then there is no use if we don't put a cheshta, endeavors. That's why many people, they want to see Krishna. Why I am not able to see Krishna? They question like that. Because Krishna is eager to give his darshan to all of us. But the thing is, we will not value it. We will not value that. We will take it for granted. The thing which is easily available will be taken for a granted. We will not value Krishna if he is easily available to us. That's why, to prove our love, devotion for Krishna, it is very, very important to put efforts, endeavors. That's how our relationship with Krishna can be developed or can become strong. We have rejected Krishna. We want to actually occupy his position. We want to be the master. That's why we have been put into this material world. Just like Udra Narayana, that analogy comes in the scriptures, in the Upanishads. What is that? All the senses that thought that why this stomach is getting all the food, we should enjoy. We should stop giving this, food to this stomach. We should enjoy the food. So over a period of time, all the senses became very weak, not able to perform the small tasks. They became very weak. That's why it's very, very important that we put endeavors in serving Krishna. Then our relationship with Krishna can be strong. Prabhupada, that's how all of us can be in peace. Prabhupada once he was asked by a reporter, just like he used to travel a lot of reporters used to meet him. So once a reporter asked Prabhupada, what is the goal of your mission? You're traveling all across the world. And you're establishing this international movement. What is the goal of your mission? So Prabhupada replied, the goal of our mission is to enjoy the life. The goal of our mission is to enjoy the life. But unfortunately, people, they do not know how to enjoy. Just like Udra Narayana example. These senses, they do not know how to enjoy. They think stomach is the only one who is enjoying. Whereas by serving stomach, they are getting their own nourishment. They are getting their own enjoyment. They forget that. So we forget how we should enjoy. We should enjoy in relationship with Krishna. That is the real enjoyment. We try to enjoy independently. By enjoying independently, all our endeavors will be frustrated. Will end up with frustration. So we should try to enjoy in relationship with Krishna. Because what happens when we give or do sense gratification or engage in sense gratification for the satisfaction of the senses rather than for the satisfaction of Krishna, this cycle of birth and death will go on perpetually. Will be taking birth and dying. This thing will be happening. This thing will be happening continuously. So real goal of life is to enjoy in relationship with Krishna. Once Prabhupada narrated a very nice story. He mentioned that, 500 rupees or 1000 rupees note was lying on a street, on a road. So there are three categories of people. One is seeing that note, he will take that note, that currency, and he will do whatever he like. He will eat nicely. Whatever he can do with that money, he will utilize for himself. Another is, he will see that money and he will see, oh, not belongs to me. This money is not mine. Why I should bother? It does not belong to me. Let it, it's lying. Let it be there. I have no business. Third is, he will take up the money. He also don't know belongs to whom. Neither this money belongs to him, nor does he know this money belongs to whom. He simply go to temple and put into the hundi, in the donation box, because he knows this money belongs to Krishna. So first is Karmis. Karmis is each and everything they want for themselves. Whatever is there is for my own pleasure, my own sense gratification. Second is Jnanis. Neti. Nothing belongs to me. Third is, they are situated in proper knowledge. Everything belongs to Krishna. Should be engaged in his service. Nirbandhe Sambandha Krishna Yukta Vairagya Uchate. That is the highest level of renunciation. What is that? Everything belongs to Krishna and everything should be engaged in Krishna's service. That is the highest level, because what belongs to us? This body itself we have to leave here. It does not belong to us. So what is there for us to renounce? When nothing belongs to us, what is there for us to renounce? Suppose if I am the proprietor of certain company, I can renounce it. But that company does not belong to me. How I can renounce? I cannot renounce or give it away. I can renounce only if it belongs to me. If I am the owner. Original proprietor is Krishna. Actually, this is what we are going to see in further verses. Krishna is mentioning the peace formula. What is that peace formula? Krishna is the Bhokta. He is the proprietor of everything. We belongs to Krishna. He is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the friend of all the living entities. He is the friend of all the living entities. When we understand this thing, that everything belongs to Krishna and He is the friend of all living entities, we can have peace of our mind. We'll move to the next verse. Bhaya spashasva asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Translation: such a liberated person is not attached to material sense pleasure or external objects, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. He enjoys unlimited happiness. Purport. Sri Yamunacharya, a great devotee in Krishna consciousness, said, since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in Him, whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit at the thought and my lips curl with distaste. So see, what he is telling, this transcendental service to Krishna gives new pleasure, nava rasa, gives new and newer pleasure every time. And whenever he thinks of sex pleasure, he spit at the thought and his lips curls with distaste, just like when you feel disgusted with something. What happens is your lips or your tongue take a new formation happens. Your lips get curled. Like if you try, you get seeing something, you feel very disgusted, right? So you feel like that. So same way Yamunacharya is saying, when he think of sex pleasure, he spit at the thought and his lips get curled with the distaste. Why particularly sex pleasure? That Prabhupada is going to explain further. A person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service of the Lord that he loses his taste for material sense pleasure altogether. The highest pleasure in terms of matter is sex pleasure. If we see, highest pleasure that exists in this material world is sex pleasure. The whole world is moving under its spell, and a materialist cannot work at all without this motivation. But a person engaged in Krishna consciousness can work with great vigor without sex pleasure, which he avoids. That is the test in spiritual realization. Spiritual realization and sex pleasure go ill together. A Krishna conscious person is not attracted to any kind of sense pleasure due to his being a liberated soul. He being a liberated soul, he doesn't get attracted to any kind of pleasure. So, if we see here also, it is very contradictory. How come? Krishna says in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kamosmi means I am the sex life. I am the sex life. So here it is mentioned sex life and spiritual life go ill together. Sorry, in the 7th chapter he is saying this thing. He is saying balam balatvam chaham kama raga vivarjitam dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. But here Prabhupada is mentioning sex pleasure and spiritual life go ill together. So yes, and whereas Krishna is telling I am the sex life. So anyone would like to share why it is so? Why there is a contradiction? Yes, anyone?
The Lord, because the Lord Krishna is the Param Bhokta of all the pleasures and all the bhavnas.
Okay, anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I could not understand the question actually.
So here in the purport, Prabhupada is
Mhm.
mentioning spiritual life and sex pleasure go ill together.
Right.
Whereas Krishna is mentioning I am the sex life. So how come this seems very contradictory?
So Krishna in that chapter has actually talked about all opulences so that we can relate, and it is not about those things itself, but it is about that Krishna is the source of all those qualities. So whenever we recall something and when we think that okay, this is something great or something big or something what we admire or whatever we feel, we should always be reminded that it is just because of Krishna, and all these things are originated from Krishna.
Okay. Anyone else?
I mean, there is one shloka in the Bhagavad Gita where it is say he is the source of the seed for all the living entities. Now,
Hmm.
from that perspective, it is coming like this, that he is the sex life himself, because uh, the source or the origin
Hmm.
to be somebody who is very supreme for personality of Godhead. Now,
Hmm.
that can come only because of the Krishna only. That is my understanding. Sec- the second part was that he is the pleasure potency of everything. So from that perspective also he's the
Okay. So basically,
Actually, Krishna has talked about he is top in everything. So he has given various such examples. Like he's
whereas,
saying,
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
sorry, like he's saying that among animals I am beast. So that does not mean that he is like that, but it is about, he has talked about the peak thing in every such objects or every such things what he
Among
has described.
pleasure, so it means among pleasure, Krishna is mentioning I am sex pleasure.
Right. So just
Right?
to remind us that okay, whatever peak in everything materially we think, and it is originated from him, so that we can relate.
So in the scriptures it is mentioned, in this material world is perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So here this sex pleasure is considered to be the highest, whereas in the spiritual world it is the most insignificant thing. Sex pleasure is most insignificant thing. So what Krishna is saying, I am sex life means what? He is mentioning Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Sex life which is against the principle of dharma is I am. Sex life which is against the principle of dharma is I am. not all sex pleasure, but which is against the principle of dharma.
Which is not against.
Which is not
Which is not against.
aviruddho,
Right.
aviruddho, not
Aviruddha.
viruddho,
Right. Not
aviruddho,
against.
yes. Which is
Right.
not contrary, which is not against the principle of dharma, is what Krishna is, which is aligned as per dharma. Because main purpose of sex life is what? To create progeny. To create progeny and continue the existence, so that living entities get a chance to come out of the cycle of birth and death. That's why it is mentioned, no one should not guru na sisyat, pitra na sisyat, matra na sisyat. One should not accept any relationship if he is not eligible or he is not, qualified to liberate other person. So one should not become a husband, one should not become a father or a mother if they are not eligible to liberate their progeny or their kids or their children. They should not conceive a child, should not become a mother or father. That's why it's very important. Sex life is important to create progeny, so that living entity can get a chance to come out of the cycle of birth and death, come out of this material existence, to come out to attain liberation. So with this, we'll end here. Anyone has any question or anything to share or ask, please feel free to share and ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, thanks for a wonderful session. So, these two things what you have mentioned. So, in terms of two very important things for bhakti, one is endeavor, and second is mercy of Krishna. So these are yes, very important, and this also reminds us about Damodar Leela, when every time the rope was only 2 inches short. So I think you also explained in one of the session. So 1 inch was representing our true endeavor, and second was mercy of Krishna, and both are related, because true endeavor keeping Krishna in the center, so that we can attract his mercy. And then when his mercy comes, so it was shared that a lot of Gyanis, they also keep on trying, but they always remain 2 inches away from Krishna. So these are the 2 inches. So I think that
Yes.
is very wonderful.
Yes, actually, that is the thing. That's why various places of Bhagavad Gita also we will find Krishna is mentioning this thing. Just like 10th chapter, if we see, Krishna is mentioning Yatantascha Dridavata. I think it is 10th verse only, 10th chapter, 10th verse. Shubhankar ji, which verse it is? Yatantascha Dridavata.
Then it is in chapter 18th.
No, chapter 18.
18th verse number 50,
नहीं, 18th
64.
नहीं है. हाँ. 18th नहीं है, not 18th, it's in 10th only. 10th point 18th नहीं है.
Which was Prabhuji?
Yatantasya Dridhavrata, Krishna is mentioning this.
This is the 9th chapter, 14th verse. Is that Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantasya
Satatam Kirtayanto Mam.
Satatam Kirtayanto
Can you
Yatantasya
read out the
Dridvrita.
verse?
And 14th verse of 9th chapter,
I'll
Prabhuji.
just open up that verse.
Yeah. Satatam kirtayantu mam
Mam
yatantascha
yatantasya dridavata.
dridvrata. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate.
So here Krishna is mentioning with great determination they engage, endeavoring with great determination. So this endeavor is required to develop relationship with Krishna. Very important to put endeavor. If you don't put endeavor, then how our love for Krishna will be proved? We want Krishna. Everyone wants Krishna. What is that we are doing to prove that I really want you? I really want Krishna. Suppose a boy says to a girl, I want you, but he is not doing anything for that girl, not putting any endeavor for that relationship to develop relationship with the girl. That girl will get confused. You want me or what is that? Really want me or not? You are saying, but you are not doing anything. So you're not putting endeavor. It seems like you don't want me. So this, and in the fourth chapter, Krishna is saying, then he reciprocates also. Yetha mam prapadyante. As we surrender, means as we put our endeavors, he also reciprocate with his mercy. So he also reciprocates. It's not like one-sided. Both ways it goes on. Then only we can develop relationship with Krishna. Relationship means putting endeavor from both the sides. So yes, any other question?
Prabhuji, one question is there. In one of the letter, Prabhupada told that you can change your destiny by engaging in Krishna consciousness. And like today, we have seen that destiny is fixed; it cannot be changed. So, how do we correlate with this? I mean,
Yeah, very important thing to understand. So basically, what happens in general, if we see a person who is not practicing Krishna consciousness, he cannot change his destiny. Whatever is fixed,
right.
cannot be changed. Now, does that mean, suppose, how we can understand that point also, we have to understand is just like in my destiny or someone's destiny, he has 10 options. Suppose he want to get married, he has 10 options. So that is his destiny. Among those 10 options, he can choose one and get married. But if we see the destiny of celebrities, for an example, Shah Rukh Khan or various such celebrities or actors, actresses, they have thousands of options. They can choose someone and get married. So their destiny gives more freedom. Our destiny, if we see, is not giving that much of freedom. So with our destiny, certain freedom comes, but that freedom depends upon our karma. Just like, suppose this much happiness will be there, but that much happiness, freedom can vary based on our karma. Now, in case of devotees, what happens? Just like Krishna is also mentioning, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, Mamekam
Correct.
Shranam Ja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayami. So Krishna accept all our karma, all our papa, everything he accepts when we surrender or take his shelter. So what exactly happens? When a person who is sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness, happiness or distress will come in his life which is controlled by Krishna. That much happiness and distress will come. Suppose If that happiness can bring closer to Krishna, so Krishna will give that happiness. If that happiness, same happiness which is destined in this devotee life, but may take away from Krishna, Krishna will not give that happiness. Now one may feel, oh, this is a, monopoly. What kind of monopoly it is? So actually, when we surrender, give our charge to Krishna, he controls our karma, by which he is not seeing us as a body. He is seeing us as we are. Who we are spirit soul. So what is good for our spiritual life, that happiness or distress he may give, just like parents. A child may eat a lot of chocolates. So parents may try to restrict, oh, these chocolates are not good for you. So child may think, my parents don't want me to be happy. Want me to, they don't want me to see happy. They don't want me to eat chocolates which make me happy. What kind of parents they are? Child may think like that. Whereas parents know, oh, if my child eats this many chocolates, he may get some tooth problem. I have to rush to the dentist and take out teeth or this or that. He will end up in such problems. So parents will restrict the quantity of chocolate. Same way, Krishna, he controls our karma. The happiness and distress he controls, which is really good for us. That much happiness and distress he will allow. And when we actually, Guru controls the charge of our karma. Hope this gives you clear understanding.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Any other question? With this, we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Radhe ki.
Sure.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, one important information. So tomorrow is Gita Jayanti, the advent of Bhagavad Gita, the day when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, delivered the message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjun. So I'm thinking for next 2 months, let us, on Saturday, we can have a special session for about 30-40 minutes, 30 minutes maybe, where we'll chant the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita and 4-5 sessions or 6 sessions maybe. We complete all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. We'll just chant the shlokas. I'll update this thing. We may have the sessions on Saturday, every Saturday for next month or 2 months. So I'll update this thing. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.